Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to Bite Size Book Reviews. My latest read is a book called Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies by Mack. Like the title suggests, this is a murder mystery, although it has quite a bit of humor worked into it as well. It's written in first person with a kind of narrative where you have the author talking a lot to the reader. The main character, Eleanor, is a writer. She became really popular for a mystery vacation series, which she actually based on her personal experiences, her last trip to Italy. And now she's back in Italy again, partly to look for inspiration and partly because she's participating in a fan event where she and a lot of other writers are touring different locations in Italy and interacting with fans of their books. So Eleanor is really preoccupied though with the fact that the 10th book of her series is supposed to be coming out, and she really badly wants to kill off her main character. She honestly didn't actually want to write about him in the first place. He's based on her ex-boyfriend who is also on this tour, and since the first book came out, he's actually been blackmailing her and taking part of her royalties from her book sales. So she would really like him out of her life, and I guess from her point of view, step one is to kill him off in the novel so she can hopefully end all other types of relationships with him as well. She doesn't want to write about him anymore, she doesn't want to pay him for the series anymore, she doesn't even really want to continue this series anymore, because it's been kind of tainted, I guess, by association. And the fact that this book was based on her personal experience with him their first last time in Italy is actually pretty important to this story. So she spends a lot of this tour plotting his demise, only it turns out that someone, or at least according to him, is in fact trying to kill him. And so the story follows the tour and the events that happen as it kind of mixes, I guess, her kind of wanting him dead with the needing to figure out who, if anyone, is trying to kill him, and maybe whether or not other people are actually also being targeted, including Eleanor herself. In addition to that, Eleanor also has a lot of other things on her plate, like her relationship with her sister, who was actually the person in the family who originally wanted to be a writer, so she feels bad that in her mind it feels a little bit like she stole, I guess, her sister's dream, and now her sister is her assistant, and she's afraid that she resents her for that. And then there's concerns about what might happen after the tour, if her sister maybe doesn't want to be her assistant anymore. Oh, and her other ex-boyfriend is also a part of this tour, he's also a writer. So a lot of complicated relationships amongst the various characters involved. So something I liked about this book, I definitely appreciate a lot of its sense of humor. It makes really good use of the first person narrative to include I guess funny commentary and stuff. For instance, there was this point early on where she was talking about, crossing the street in Rome always feels like you're taking your life into your own hands, because if you think about it, the signs for pedestrian crossings is a person running, and enough said. And there was the other part where she was talking about letters she gets from crazy fans who make jokes, or what she hopes are jokes, about getting rid of her so that they can get together with Connor, the ex that the detective character in her series is based on. And she said she put all of these letters and stuff into a folder on her computer labeled crazy people, so that if she ever ends up dead, her sister will know that that is the folder to give to the police. So yeah, I definitely appreciate the sense of humor. Something I did not like. So this was one of those mystery series where I feel like a lot of the plot came from people withholding information or doing not very smart things. So, the kind of not very smart when, I know that someone is trying to kill me, but I'm going to go do this thing I never do all by myself, like, anyway. Like, things that I just don't really understand, like, as why characters do, like, if you were actually being logical about it. And yeah, I'm not technically super fond of conflicts, I guess, that happen primarily because of misunderstandings or withheld information. So, like, in terms of the mystery aspect of this story, it's not necessarily my favorite.